once again, thank you for tuning into my channel. Please subscribe, like and share. My name is Nono. Otherwise my other name is Sandra, and yeah, my second name is Nono. I don't really have a preference. I go with both. So today I just wanted to explain the terminology of an emergency account from a layman's perspective, just in simple terms, just for me, basically for me, what it means to have an emergency account. So as young people, when we start off getting permanent jobs and stuff, there's responsibilities that we adopt in that, because most of us are from families where even when you were in varsity, there were responsibilities that were waiting for you, like building for your parents, basically just contributing to your family. It differs with the family, right? So we have those expenses that are always there, and some people, after they get permanent jobs, they automatically become breadwinners in their families. But one thing that we need to realize, one thing that I learned by myself, is that in the midst of being that person, in the midst of being there for your family, in the midst of helping out in the family, and basically caring over things that have been waiting for you since you were in varsity, you need to always remember that there are things that are going to emerge, there are emergencies, there are situations that are going to come up that will really need money, right? And one thing that we do not want as young people, right, that one thing that we should really stay away from is making debt after debt. Something is happening at home, you go and take a loan. Something, your grandmother is sick, you go and take a loan. We should try and just basically stay away from that. So most people who talk about money would advise that have an emergency account, in as much as you will be juggling everything, trying to take care of your family, trying to pay off your debts and stuff, trying to pay off your new debts and your old debts, your student loans. Just like myself, I have a student loan. I unfortunately went to school before education was free. So I have to pay back the money. So what I'm basically saying, that an emergency account is just basically to help you out in those situations that just emerge from nowhere, right? That's why it's called emergency. Or just thought of that now. Situations that just emerge from nowhere need to find you with at least some sort of money. And an emergency account, according to my own perspective, according to my own experience, needs to be that money that you can still put away and still be able to pay your debts and stuff and still be able to live. It can be 500 rand, it can be 100 rand, 100 rand is too little, but it can be anything above 500 rand. But if you're earning lesser, you can save up something like 100 rand, because I am a firm believer that God will not put anything on your plate, right, that you will not be able to deal with. He will not put something on your plate, he will not put something on your dish that will be too much for you that you would not deal with, right? So if you're earning something like $300 a month, I've seen that. I've been there. I started off as a waitress, right? And I used to earn something like $350 a month. And yeah, I don't remember ever having, and emergencies were there every now and then, but I feel like God was there with me. And most of the times the emergencies that emerged were things that I could afford, right? Even now, when I get emergencies, usually things that I would afford. I don't believe that God will give me an emergency that is going to cost me 100,000, and I don't have 100,000. I don't have $100,000, or let alone $10,000. I don't have that money. So I do not believe that God will throw that on my dish, knowing very well that I cannot afford it. So I feel like an emergency account should at least be 10% of your salary. But then if you cannot afford to have 10% of your salary due to debts and other commitments and other responsibilities that you might have at home, you should just start with maybe 5%. And as you pay off your debts, as your debts are decreasing, then you can like maybe somewhere add like 2% more, 3% more, until you at least get to 10%. Then you know that every month you have money that is put aside for emergencies. And one thing about emergencies, yes, there is a time where when things come, they just come like following each other, as if someone sent them, as if someone is throwing them at you, right? But also emergencies, sometimes they emerge one by one, so you should at least have that emergency account where you are able to pay up without having to take a loan. Because once you take a loan, once you borrow money, it becomes a setback again, because now you need to incorporate that thing on your spreadsheet, and then meaning that every month you're working towards paying that loan and you are saving less. So what we should really focus on is saving. I know that, like with me, I want to find myself in a situation where at least a year from now I have like 100,000 what you call it, rand, right? I think it's equivalent to 10,000. This what I think a dollar is to 17 rand right now, so maybe it's around there, like 7,000 US dollars. I want to be able to find myself with that kind of amount in my account in the next 2 years or something. I know it's too long because I'm not really getting much, but I do believe that through paying off my debts and just basically living within my means, right, and basically increasing on that rapidly on my emergency account, because at the moment I'm currently putting on like 1,000 rand for emergencies, but then I hope that one day I'll be able to at least put 3,000 rand per emergencies, increase it as I go. One thing that you would not want to do when you have an emergency account is that you do not want to save up too much such that you are not able to live. You should still be able to live. As young people, we should still be able to live. We should still be able to go to the movies. We should still be able to enjoy life. Go karting, go bowling, go bouncing, like do all those things at least a month. For me, what I used to do, I think it was last year, although this year I haven't done it. I guess life has just gotten busy. But what I would do last year with this other friend of mine, every month we would have an activity that we would do. Every month would go eat at a certain restaurant, would go to a certain maybe tourist attraction that is within our area, because those tend to be cheaper. You only need like petrol and just entrance fees and all that. Most tourist attractions are not really like expensive, especially the local ones to where I stay. So we will choose one every month. The following month we'll go bouncing at Virgin Active. The following month we'll go like bowling. We'll just find some fun activities to do, so that way, in as much as you're working, but you are still able to live your life as a young person. You are still able to do all the activities that other kids your age are doing and enjoying. Because someone once said in one of the seminars that I attended that being young is wealth. So you need to also remember that in as much as we are chasing the goal of paying off our debts, in as much as we're chasing off the goal of being able to save more, in as much as we're chasing business dreams and all that, we still need to remember that we are young, and being young is wealth. And in 10-20 years time from now, I would not be able to go bouncing, right? I'll probably have a backache or something like that. So in as much as you're saving and you're having your emergency account and you are living things by the book, you're making sure you're crossing out all the things that you don't necessarily need to spend on a daily basis in your life. You also need to make sure that you enjoy your life, because sometimes when you try to save up too much, when you try to overcommit yourself and like you're up to here, you tend to just start having anxiety. So for me, write down all those things that you would want to do every month. Choose one. I know, for instance, with where I stay, for me to take a taxi to go bouncing to main lane, it's like, I don't know, $20. And then from there, bouncing is like 135. So you can, if you're adding something like 10,000 rand which is like $1,000, you can afford to go bouncing, right? You can afford to just once go bouncing, like let your hair down, like go and cool off a bit, because life is not easy. These things are always going to be there, but you need to be able to remember that being young is wealth. It's not only about chasing business dreams, but you need to be able to look back 30 years ago when you 30 years to come when your kids are doing the same things and you're like, oh yeah, I used to also go bouncing, relate. So do not like over suffocate yourself. I don't know, that's just my view. It's my own personal view. So but let's discuss. Comment down below and tell me what are your views and how many percentage you currently afford to put on your emergency fund, and so far how it's going. And if there are those who have had emergency funds assist them in points of need, kindly share how that was, how that experience was, how not having to take a loan was. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Please kindly like, subscribe, and don't forget to leave comments below.